Hello all. So in this video, we're gonna talk for freshers, right? Freshers, I mean the people who are recently joined into the company, who are having 1 to 3 years of experience in IT in a different technology or a different domain, and they are trying to switch for AI or ML roles, right? AI or ML or data science roles. They might be working for might be working in some other technology or in domain, but they want to switch their career in AI or ML or data science in very early of their experience, right? So the common mistakes what I have been observed from these kind of people, right? So the projects, right, they mention in the resume seems like they copied from the tutorials similarly, because their lack of experience, they will not understand what project will give the more weightage, so that they will just copy the project from the tutorials or from online, and they put it in a resume. This is easily detectable by any recruiter, right? And also some candidates, right, mention certain disease detection system kind of projects or image recommendation system, these kind of projects, well, they work for the banking client. So in the resume, it's very clear that they are working from some banking client or some financial client or some insurance client, right? But the projects they have mentioned in the particular resume, those are nowhere related to the client or the business they have mentioned. So I mean, this will give a clear sign that you have not worked on the real time, right? This is a consequence, right? That will give a clear sign that you have not worked on the real time. You have just worked on the hobby project as a hobby project, right? I mean, that ultimately questions that even though you are working for a company, you don't have a real time exposure to that business or the data. So because of these kind of projects mentioning, these general projects mentioning into the in the resume, right? So that's why let's avoid doing this and let's see what you can do, right? Let's see. And for these kind of people also, it's very much important to have a good internal connect with the DS and AA team. You are already part of some company, right? So in company, it's very much easy to find the people who are already a data scientist or a AI engineer, right? You can easily find it. Just talk to the colleagues and look for the people who are already working in the AI and data science team. So just go to them and have a internal talks, right? Frequent talks with them, this particular team, and understand what kind of work they are doing and what kind of problems they are solving. With this normal understanding, you can do it in a friendly conversation. You can try to get in touch with this kind of teams, right? This is the first foremost important thing you should do, right? Having a frequent conversations with the real time people who are already part of your company, because you're working in a company, isn't it? And also build the projects that are tied to your company's domain, right? Let's say if you're mentioning as a Citibank, right, in your resume you are mentioning as a you're working for the banking client. Let's try to put the projects that are really related to the banking domain, banking business problems. You should at least solve the banking business problems, and you should be able to tell that this particular banking business problem is for the client that you are working for, so that the recruiter will understand that you really worked on the real time data, right? So that's why it's very important that whatever the domain or the company you are working, you have to mention the projects or build a projects which are related to that particular business or the domain. This is very important again, right? And also, and this is very important, do not put the projects in the personal GitHub repository. And I've seen few people, what they mentioned is, they said that this is the company project, and they also put the GitHub link for that particular project. So which is never allowed actually. When your company, if it is a company's project, no company is allowed to put that as your personal project into your own personal GitHub, right? So that might come under different data breaching issue. So that's why the people who are really worked on that particular space will not reveal what they have mentioned in the open source or the personal GitHub repository. So let's not mention that, even though if you have done as it your own, but do not put that in your project in the GitHub repository, and do not say that that is part of your company's property, right? That particular project I'm talking about, let's not put into the GitHub repository. Even though you put it, let's not put it in the resume, okay? And then again, you do, I mean, for this kind of people who are having a 2 years of experience, 1 to 3 years of experience, right? we don't need to, it's optional to say that you have deployed that particular application or the solution into the production, and that just made a billions and trillions of sales. This kind of, fancy things, we don't need to put it in resume. Just you can tell or convey that whatever the things that you have done at the POC level, and you can, during that particular POC level, whatever you have done, you should be able to demonstrate your problem solving skills in this way. And it's again optional to say that you have deployed that, added a value to the business, and all the things. It's kind of optional for many folks, right? You do not need to polish in that way, right? Let's focus on the POC, what you're doing, and try to show yourself as you're a real world problem solver, right? We will see what kind of projects this kind of freshers can do. Okay, so when it comes to the freshers, right, who are the recent hires to the companies like, MNCs, right? MNCs, service based MNCs like TCS, right? Infosys, right? These kind of companies, right? You name it, right? Infosys, Wipro, these are all service based MNCs in India, right? You name it, right? And the example, the reason why I'm saying, right, the freshers are mostly hired as a production support engineer, or a junior developer, or a, associate developer. I mean, junior associate developer, I'm saying, and a tester, manual tester or automated tester. So these are the most, freshers are utilized in these roles basically, right? So if you are a production support engineer, when you are a production support engineer, you are working as a production support engineer, let's assume you can build this kind of project, right? Something like automated ticket routing within your own internal team using the intent classification, right? Let's say that you are a production support engineer and you will be getting a lot of tickets for a lot of issues for that application, right? So you will have a real access to a real world data, that what you are working as part of your day-to-day activities, right? Take that data. In this case, you will be having that data which is about the tickets, right? The production tickets, and build a model. I'm giving an example, by the way. Build a model that will automatically classify that particular ticket, right? Be it a production restart, be it a application restart, be it some other issue, something like, queue reset or whatever, right? Based on that particular ticket, try to build a model that can classify what kind of issue it is, and based on that issue classification, you can assign that particular, issues to that, but the concerned resource, right? Concerned resource, you can do it, right? This AI system should be able to make the intent classification, right? So this kind of projects you can do by taking the approvals from your managers or team lead. Just tell them that I'm gonna automate something from whatever we are doing as part of our day-to-day activities, which is routine. I just want to automate it using the AI. I'm gonna try it. If it works. If it does not works, just ignore it. The kind of kind of approval you can get it from your manager or team lead. Try to do that as a POC, and if it is succeeded, you can present it to your team lead also. And this is a very good project that you can put it in a resume, right? So how did you orchestrate this, automate this entire workflow? Let's say the ticket is coming, how you can classify what all the intent classification, you can do it. This is just an example. I'm not asking you to do the same thing. Understand what kind of work you are doing. Try to identify what kind of automation can be done by the AI, right? So try to do it as a POC, not even a very at production level. Also, one more example, right? Integrate some generative AI models, right? Whenever the issue coming in, let's say the new issue is coming in. Let's say the particular server is not responding, right? For that, the ticket is raised, right? Let's say that this ticket T can be given to the AI engine, generative AI engine, GenAI engine. So the GenAI engine should be able to understand the ticket, and you also provide the context about the ticket and whatever the metadata you have. Let's say you have provided the context as well from a different workflow, and this generative AI should be able to tell what can be the possible fixes. Okay, fix number 1, fix number 2, fix number 3. So within your company's account, it's not from using the ChatGPT or something like that. Whatever the integration that you are doing, it's all part of your company's business account. Let's assume right? So this will tell us like what is the fix number 1, fix number 2, fix number 3. So this kind of project also you can tell that, put it in your resume, and you can show to your, I mean, you can talk to your recruiter how you have done it. So just do it in a very, fundamental way, right? Very POC level. And if you're a developer, let's assume that you don't have any access to any these kind of databases. What you can do is go to the HR and talk with the HR people and say that I'm gonna help you with the AI automation, something like building a resume shortlisting system using the NLP, right? Let's say that in every company HR department will be there, and there are technical recruiters as well. What they will, talent recruiters, talent acquisition team I'm talking about, right? The talent acquisition team, what they will do, they will try to shortlist the resume based on several checks. You tell them that I'm gonna automate this with the AI, and let's see how it's working. So they're gonna give some of the resumes or some of the data, what they are looking for in a separate form, and the resumes will having in a separate form, right? You can use this information using the AI. You can select the resumes faster than the what HR people are doing. So for doing this, of course, you might require approvals. Talk to the managers or the team leads and then get the necessary approvals, and do it as your hobby project. Hobby project in the sense, apart from your day-to-day activities, you have to do it as part of your interest. Once you have done it, you can put it in a resume saying that I have helped a HR system, HR recruiting system with this particular, automation. You can speak about it, right? This is part of your company as well. Recruiter will understand that you solve the problem really to the company, right? Also, one more problem I could think of is, right, let's say that in every company HR policies are very huge, a lot of documents will be there. Let's say that you have built a chatbot, right? Chatbot kind of interface. Let's say the user or the employee will type a query about the policies, that particular chatbot should be able to answer the query about the policy whatever the employee is giving, right? So how you can build it, in the sense we can talk in detail in more, but high level I'm telling, right? So all the HR documents, right, you can put it in a RAG. Based on the RAG and LLMs, right, you can build something, kind of chatbots that might help the HR policies, answer the questions about the HR policies. This will really reduce the burden for the HRs, right? Answering the routine questions again and again. Think in that direction, right? I'm not saying you to replicate these problems as it is, just think in this direction. Even if you're a tester, let's assume if you're a tester, you have a lot of data for bugs, right? Your team, or you have a lot of data of bugs, historical data of bugs. So take those data and try to train a model, AI model, that can classify what kind of severity of this particular bug is, or what kind of bug it is, like whether it is from front end, or it is the bug is from back end, or if it is a back end, what kind of bug, right? If it is a back end, or if it is a it's an infra kind of bug, right? You don't need to label it or triage it manually, right? Let's say that if the A is predicted as a front end, just automatically assign this to the front end team. They will take care of it, right? Or also if it is predicted as a back end, just assign to the back end team. They will see whether it is really a back end, or if it's not back end, they will just assign back to the concerned team. So just try to train a AI model based on the past history that what you have as part of your bugs database, right? And also you can use the NLP to one more project. You can use the NLP to summarize or the similar test case failures for different root causes, right? So for different failures, right? For different test cases, for similar test cases, you can summarize. You can ask the AI or generative AI to tell what happened to this particular test case failure. It can generate the summary, right? That summary can help us to understand the root cause faster, right? This kind of application you can build as part of your as part of your real time. So that will gives us the understanding that no matter you are production support engineer, it will show that even though you are working as a production support engineer, you can still put the generative AI project saying that I have learned the generative AI and also applied the generative AI on the real problems. For the developer is also same, for the tester, right? So let's think in that direction and try to build some POC level projects when you are a 1 to 3 years of experienced fresher and recently started learning the AI or the ML. So this is the few projects I could think of, and you can also think in this direction and try to do a very soundful projects. So that's all for this freshers, and next video we're going to see for the experienced persons. Stay tuned. Thank you.